theorem 8.1, a diagonal of a parallelogram, divide it into two congruent triangles. Now see that theorem 8.1 proof also you have to learn. That is included in the syllabus. That proof you have to learn. So let us learn how to prove that one. Now first let us draw the parallelogram ABCD. So ABCD is a parallelogram. Now draw a diagonal AC. So when you are drawing a diagonal, you are getting two triangles. What you have to prove is these two triangles are equal or congruent. So like what we have done in 7th chapter, we have to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So let us take the triangle. Which triangle we are going to take? That is ABC. One triangle is ABC. The other one is CDA. Another one is CDA. Now look at this one. BCA and DAC are BCA. Which angle it will come? BCA and DAC. Alternate angle BCA. BCA, this angle. DAC, this one, are alternate angle. How? Two parallel lines, that is AD and BC are parallel lines. AC is a transversal cutting that one. So look at this one, Z shape. So angle DAC equal to BCA, that is alternate angle. Alternate angle. For the parallelogram, we know that parallelogram opposite sides are equal and parallel. That is a property. So AB will be equal to CD and AB will be parallel to CD, and AD will be equal to BC and AD is equal to BC. So DAC equal to BCA, that is alternate angle. Now BAC equal to DCA, that also alternate angle. BAC, what is BAC? This one. BAC, this angle BAC, and DCA, this one. These two are parallel lines. Another line is cutting. So DCA equal to BAC, that also the same property, alternate angle. Okay. Now AC is common to both. So AC is equal to CA. AC equal to CA. Why? A and C, AC first and third. Here first and third is CA. So AC equal to CA. That is common. Reason is common. Now triangle ABC is congruent to triangle CDA. Which property you will use? ASA. No, angle, side, angle. Two side and two angle and included side. So by ASA property, ASA congruence rule, these two triangles are congruent. That means what? AC is what? Diagonal. Diagonal will divide this parallelogram into two congruent triangles. This is an important theorem. So you have to learn that proof also. Okay. So what does it say? In a parallelogram, diagonal divides the parallelogram into two equal triangles or two congruent triangles. So we have proved that using ASA congruence rule. Now coming to our remaining section, so we have discussed up to 8.8 theorem, that is a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if a pair of opposite sides is equal and parallel. That much we have discussed in last video. Now let us do one exercise 8.1 first problem that is also included in the syllabus. So the angles of the quadrilateral are in the ratio 3:5:9:13. Then you are asked to find out all the angles of the quadrilateral. So we have already learned a theorem, that is, in a quadrilateral all the four angles together will be 360. So if they are in the ratio 3:5:9:13, you have to find each angle. So first we can write that theorem, that is, all angle in a quadrilateral sum of all angles, we can write sum of all angles in a quadrilateral will be 360. So let us take that, if that is given as ratio, so let us take each angle as 3x, then 5x, then 9x, then 13x equal to 360. So 3x plus 5x 8x plus 9 17 plus 13 30 x is equal to 360. Then what is x? 360 divided by 30. So 36 by 3, 12 you will get. Now can you find each angle? So first angle will be 3 into 12, 36. Next one will be 5 into 12, 60. 9 into 12, 13 into 12, so you will get all the four angles. Now this type of questions can come in 2-mark question and 1-mark question also. If 3 angles are given, you are asked to find out fourth angle of a quadrilateral. That can be a 1-mark question. 3 angles will be given. So that such questions we have solved in 8th standard also. Okay. So the properties we have learned, that means the problems related to that one also can come in the exams. So here it is given in ratio, that's why how we calculated this one. So suppose 3 angles are given, one of the angle 120, the other one is 80, other one is 40, like that. Last fourth angle you have to find out, then add 3 angles Subtract it from 360 to find out the fourth angle. Now midpoint theorem we are going to discuss. Midpoint theorem of triangle. Now what is midpoint theorem? That is, if a triangle is there, page number 148 you see, a triangle is there ABC and E is the midpoint of AB and F is the midpoint of AC, then you will get the property. Midpoint theorem says that if a line passes through the midpoint of one side and parallel to the third side, it will be passing through the midpoint of the other side. That means EF and E and F are midpoints of AB and AC respectively, and EF will be parallel to BC, and another property says that EF will be half of BC. Okay, so what is it? Midpoint theorem is very important to solve the problems in 10th and 9th. So you have to learn that one clearly. So what is the midpoint theorem says? A line segment joining the midpoints of two sides of triangle is parallel to the third side. That is, if ABC is a triangle, E and F are the midpoints of AB and AC, then EF will be parallel to BC. EF will be parallel to BC. Then EF will be half of BC. Okay. Second theorem says that EF will be half of BC. So you have to understand that one. That is the midpoint theorem. So here, based on that one, so many problems are given, examples are given. See here, when D and F are midpoints of AB and AC, so you will get 4 equal triangles. This is a property we are using in 10th standard to find the area of the triangle. So how we can show that they are equal, that 4 equal triangles you will get. That is, AD is equal to BD, as D is the midpoint. AF will be equal to FC, as F is the midpoint. And we have, by midpoint theorem, DF will be half of BC. DF will be half of BC. And DF will be parallel to BC. Parallel to BC and half of BC. And here you see E and F are midpoints of F is the midpoint of AC, E is the midpoint of BC. So EF will be half of AB. And here same way you can find D and D are midpoint of AB and BC. So D will be half of AC. That means AD equal to BD and AF equal to FC, B equal to EC, and that is equal to DF. This one equal to half of BC, this one equal to half of AB. That means all the 3 triangles, smaller triangles, 4, whatever you are getting, their sides will be equal. That means all the triangles will be congruent. How many triangles you are getting? Smaller one here, 4 triangles you are getting. That all the 4 triangles are congruent. So if you are taking one among that one and the bigger triangle, their ratio will be 1/4, that is smaller one to bigger one. Okay, so that property we will use in 10th standard only. Now that what we learned, just summarizing that one, sum of the angles of quadrilateral is 360. All the angles together will be 360 that we used in the solving of problems. Then a diagonal of a parallelogram, divide it into two congruent triangle, that we already discussed. That proof also you have to learn. Now, what is in a parallelogram? What are the properties of parallelogram? Opposite sides are equal, opposite angles are equal, diagonals bisect each other. Then fourth property, fourth one, a quadrilateral will be a parallelogram when opposite sides are equal. The second one is opposite angles are equal, then diagonals bisect each other, or a pair of opposite angles are equal and parallel. Then diagonals of rectangle bisect each other and are equal. Diagonals of rectangle, we know they bisect each other and diagonals are equal also. Then rhombus bisect each other at right angle. So that we have already learned in 8th standard. Rhombus, the property of right diagonal is they bisect at 90 degree. Okay. Then midpoint theorem, that is a line joining the midpoint of any two sides of triangle is parallel to the third side and is half of it. Okay, so that is what we have learned in this chapter. So we'll move on to next chapter. There also I think we have to learn all the theorems. Then we'll move on to constructions. So geometry box should be ready by that time, so that drawing we can make